This is the end of Capcom's longest running streak of releasing good video games. So recently, a sequel to one of the most praised RPGs in gaming, Dragons Dogma Dark Arisen, has released Dragma. Did I just say Dragma? Dragma balls. Dragons Dogma 2. Except this game was a dumpster fire upon day one release. Why did this happen? Let's talk about it. Before we get into the negative part, just so that we don't throw them completely under the bus, because I have so much love for Capcom. They have created some of the greatest video game experiences I've ever had the blessing to experience in my life. In my opinion, if you had to only play games from one developer for the rest of your life, I'm choosing Capcom 10 times out of 10. Capcom has literally made a video game for any type of gamer. So, not every company is perfect. I'm just saying that they're not the GOAT, they are my GOAT. But I would put them on a top 3 devs list, I'm not gonna lie to you. Capcom is for sure up there. But this is one of the very rare Capcom L's that you will be seeing ever. So Dragons Dogma 2 released, and apparently it is ridden with microtransactions, and that is putting it lightly. So I went on over to the Dragon Dogma 2 Steam page to check it out for myself. I couldn't believe it because I looked at the Steam page before the game came out and I did not see any of this. So I was just absolutely baffled, mortified even. So I went on over to Dragon's Dogma 2 Steam page, scrolled down, and all right, you know, maybe a couple microtransactions is fine. Okay, this is bad. Capcom, what are we doing? It looks like we have microtransactions to bring yourself back to life, to fast travel, escape from jail, to recreate your character. Literally, what are you doing, Capcom? This threw me for a curveball. But I'm also not surprised. If any of you remembered the Resident Evil 4 remake launch, you would know Resident Evil 4 remake contained very similar microtransactions. It was not as in-depth as this, but they were very similar. If you head on over to the Resident Evil 4 Steam page, you will scroll down and you will find, okay, maybe it's just a few. Alright, okay. So maybe it's not as different. We are in fact dealing with the new kind of microtransaction treatment that we've seen in a couple of new Capcom video games. So please, I beg you, before you say anything, I know I bought most of these. I know. Please, just cut me a break. I needed some of those tickets so I could get through the game. Please. But all jokes aside, I truthfully just wanted to support them. I didn't think it was too malicious in this game, but in Dragon's Dogma, an RPG where simple features like recreating your character, releasing your character from a jail cell, teleportation, these are things that are part of an RPG. In Resident Evil 4 Remake, these were DLC microtransactions that would literally just grant you a fully upgraded weapon. I suppose the same way you're playing a mobile game and you kind of need to spend $5 to refill your gems so the little trolls don't have to, you know, spend the day off refilling on cooldown. I have no idea what mobile game I'm trying to reference, but I'm sure I've referenced about 50 of them just with that simple random sentence. So I didn't think they were too malicious in Resident Evil 4 Remake. As you can see here, I bought a couple of them with no problem. I thought I was just supporting my dev company. But if we take a look again at Dragon Dogma 2 microtransactions, these look extremely malicious. Now, no, I can't give my full context and opinion on this because I have not played the game. A lot of people who have bought the game as well have not played the game apparently, which brings me on to my next complaint about the game, and a lot of other people's complaint that the game can't run. It constantly crashes on some of the best computers. So I have a pretty recent Intel CPU and I have a 4090. I put a lot of money into this rig that I currently have, and I am absolutely terrified to buy this $70 video game, get slapped with these microtransactions, and might not even have a chance to still play. This is a problem, Capcom. What are you doing? This is personally the first time I have ever seen a disastrous launch from Capcom, and I was so hyped to play this game. I never played Dragons Dogma 1. Okay, that's a lie. I played Dragon Dogma 1, but I didn't get too deep into it because I kind of felt like if I'm gonna play a Dragon's Dogma game and I've waited this long already, all right, you know what? Maybe I'll just wait for part 2. And then part 2 comes out and it's unplayable. So if anybody who knows me knows that I hate unplayable games on day one. So I naturally hate Cyberpunk. I was the biggest Cyberpunk hater in the world. You will not find anyone on this platform who hates Cyberpunk more than me. I have given that game a million chances and a million times it has let me down. But that is a topic for another day. This is not a Cyberpunk video. Let's get back on track. So with the microtransactions and the constant crashing, it has led to an outrageous, overwhelmingly negative review on their store Steam page. How it currently says mixed, I have no clue. This game deserves to be review bombed. I'm sure on consoles it probably runs fine if you enjoy 30 FPS in the year 2024, which was also an absolutely absurd decision by the devs. Of course, it doesn't come down to the decision. I'm sure that there was probably a lack of tech that can support this type of beautiful game, but that's also a topic for another video. Also, as I record this video, please do not mind my 200 hours on Grand Blue Fantasy. I am currently losing my life. Please help me. I do not make excuses for games that are disastrous on day one. I stand strongly behind that. I feel like any game that does terribly day one because of its own faults, I think it should get all the negative reviews as it should. As it deserves. Now, note, before I say that it comes off as very negative, I will say that this is an amazing RPG from what I have seen. The people who have been able to play this game, it is incredible. It is absolutely mind-blowing what Capcom has been able to create, and it is extremely unfortunate that we are having such a disastrous day one launch. So I'm going to give you a little story time about my experience with Dragon's Dogma. Years ago, I was introduced to Dragons Dogma because I am a Resident Evil fan, and anyone who knows Resident Evil fans, around the time where Resident Evil 6 was announced and it was soon to be released, a lot of people don't remember this, but to get access to the Resident Evil 6 demo, you had to buy a copy of Dragon's Dogma. This is how I was introduced to the series. So I briefly played it on console back in the day and I enjoyed it a lot, but I bought it for Resident Evil 6. But Dragon's Dogma is an incredible RPG that absolutely holds up to this day. So you could imagine the hype for Dragon's Dogma 2 when almost a decade later, they announced it and it released. I could go into so much more, but truth be told, it's not Capcom's fault. This is just a bad PC port, and usually the devs kind of go through another company to handle PC ports. It's the same thing that happened with the Last of Us PC port. They had to go through a different dev company to handle the port, and it came out terribly on PC. So these are absolutely amazing games. Please do not fault Capcom. Hopefully, microtransactions are not as malicious as they seem to be at first glance. Hopefully, this PC port will be patched over time to be actually playable. And above all, hopefully we will all have an amazing Dragon's Dogma 2 experience. Based off of the gameplay I have seen from people who were able to play this game, I think this game looks absolutely incredible and you guys should give it a go. I'm probably going to say this in a lot of my videos, so be ready for that. But I have 1,000 hours on a game in almost every single genre. Yes, that is a fact. I am actually very proud of that. That is one of my achievements in life. So I know a good video game when I see one. I'm very well informed when I see a game that is subpar and a game that is absolutely amazing. And this game is absolutely amazing. Give it one more chance. I think on behalf of Capcom, I will say that they absolutely deserve it. After everything Capcom has given us, not you, after everything Capcom has given us, I think they deserve one more chance, and hopefully Dragons Dogma 2 will live up to the hype. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. I do all things gaming. You will see literally everything on my channel. I have, once again, I will say this, I have 1,000 hours on a game in every genre. I play literally everything. So if you want one channel that covers almost everything in gaming, then subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Later.